Hello, people. We are back at to the podcast, episode 76. We're back in your living rooms. For those who have us in your living rooms, thank you. Appreciate you. For those who don't,
or might have us in your bedroom, you know. But if they didn't, then they wouldn't be watching this. So thank you.
Yeah, but still. What's up, people? It's your boy International Walk.
And it's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the mostest.
And we are back with another episode of Act 2 the Podcast, episode 76. Again,
76.
You guys can catch us out there on act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, TikTok, Breaker, and Spotify.
Did a great job.
How are you?
I am doing great.
Talk to me.
I feel loved.
You feel loved?
Yes.
By who? Just loved in general?
Just in life. You know, sometimes we focus on, we put a lot of focus on when people do us wrong or people aren't treating us right. Mm-hmm. And usually, not going to speak for all, and when I say we, I don't mean everybody, but just people in general. Usually, it isn't everybody in your life. Like, it might be one person where things aren't right. And don't get me wrong, if it's like your spouse or something, that's a pivotal part of your life. I get it. But usually it may be like a friend or a family member or maybe a coworker, but it's not usually the most of the people in your life. So, not saying to disregard those feelings, for the negative feelings or emotions coming from one place in your life, but also relishing good feelings of, you know, the positive things that are happening in your life. Duality is an option. You can be sad and grieve one situation while also having joy. Let me not act like I just made that up. I've been thinking it, but I also heard it in therapy, and then I heard it at an event that I went to this week, and then I also read it. So for me, that was like confirmation. Like,
you have to be.
No, I don't have to.
Things 5 and 6 times to grab it?
No, I don't. But just like you do your daily affirmations, just to kind of like let things sink in, to keep things at the forefront of your mind, just so that you can be intentional about your thoughts and your actions. For me, that was just one of those things that was like, oh, I'm going to add that to my list. Duality is an option. You don't have to be all happy all the time. But if something is bad happening in your life, you don't have to let the sadness consume you. There can be duality.
I'm glad you took it that way, because when I see people do stuff like that, like I said to you, you need things 5 and 6 times. God. Do you need to? It's a boy.
My other earring fell out before the show. My ears just want to be blank today.
Do you need to have things told to you 5 and 6 times? Because I'm not going to be broad. Most people, some people are with the trends. So when you see something, it's like it didn't ring to you, but now the 6th time when you see people say it and read it, and let me finish, and it's out there, now it's like, oh, this is probably the thing to do because I'm seeing it more often. That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah, I mean, I get that when you have like those trend words that come into.
No, like if I said something to you, or your friend said something to you, then I said something to you. Now it rings a little bit more true. Then you read it. Now it rings a little bit more true. Now you saw it on TV or something, or now it's like, okay.
It hasn't, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it has nothing to do with trends. Like, it's just one of those things, and I'm not saying, you know, just because you read something from any source.
Right. Because I'm sure that's not the first time you heard that.
It's not the first time I heard it, but I can't say at all points of my life did it register. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes you can read, like, you're absolutely right. You can hear something, read something, know something, and it doesn't hit you the same way if it doesn't apply to you at the moment. So you're absolutely right. It's not like it's new information that I receive, but it's just something that resonates with me now more at this point in my life, this stage in my life, this season of my life, in this very moment, you know, based on personal situations going on where...
What was that?
I don't know.
Keep talking.
Where it's just...
Stand up for a second.
Yeah, where it's just...
That was downstairs or upstairs?
I think it was upstairs. I think something might have fell in my closet.
Let's stand up for a second. It's just part of the show, people. We heard a fucking noise in here.
Thank God I have on pants today. One time, y'all, we did a show and I had on a shirt and I didn't have on pants, and you could see a little bit of my thigh, but we did some good cropping, so y'all didn't know. But I'm not really sure what that noise was. Check my closet. Did something fall inside my closet?
Probably. There's a bunch of shit on the floor.
In my closet?
Yeah. That was upstairs, you heard, right?
I believe so.
Okay, get up.
Okay. I'm gonna go just check.
We back, people. We heard some shit go down. So therefore, we gotta go check. And I ain't never know. Might have to grab the strap or something. But she think it was something that fell in her closet. But I'm sure y'all probably heard that shit. It was like a boom.
My closet looked like it looked before. My closet looked like it looked before we started the show. So I still don't know what it is.
Okay.
But I think we good. Okay?
Yeah.
You ready to continue?
Yeah.
All right. And we're back.
You seem all apprehensive.
No, I just wanted to make sure you were okay. But yeah, I feel safe. So nevertheless, in this moment, yes, it's not new information, but it just hits differently than, it may have had, that it may have hit previously. So, how am I? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling loved. Mentally, I'm probably a 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finances.
Finances is a 10.
Finances is a 10. What's work look like?
Work is looking like an 8. It's really busy. It's a lot going on. But yeah, no complaint. It's 8. It's an 8. I'm still waiting for you to tell me I could submit my 2-week notice.
Physicality.
You skipped over
Yep.
that.
You won't work.
Physicality. I'm feeling like a 7. Like, I don't feel bad, but I could feel better. Just have to work on, just being more active. That always makes me feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I feel like I'm an 8. Good. Mental capacity. Got no stress, no drama. So I'm an 8 there. Finances is a 9. Nueve. Work, I would say, is like a 7. Couple people get on my fucking nerves there. Physicality, I feel like an 8.
Oh, that was a good run through.
What was your physicality?
I said a 7.
I feel better than you.
My mental was a 9. I mentally
you
feel better than you.
Wows and woes.
This was competing.
Or was it?
My wow for this week was just life. I had a really great week spending, again, not to sound repetitive, but just spending time with people that I love and that love me, spending time with myself. We had a great weekend of bike riding. I, went to yoga and brunch with a friend. Then I did, went to a very amazing event with my sister and friends. So yeah, that was my wow. Just spending time doing things that make me feel good. So that was it. Just life being pretty good week. My only woe, and this doesn't affect me directly, but this is like a woe, like a reminder. There was a story about a young boy who 2 years old was killed by a babysitter. It was just a really sad situation. Young girl was her girlfriend was babysitting for, I don't know the circumstances, whether she was working or whatever, and the girl, who was a mother herself, had a young child who was about the same age as this baby. She beat the baby to death. Beat the little boy to death. And that was just like this is a sick, sad world. And I just pray for that young girl at 18 years old. She had her son when she was 16. And no parent should have to experience the loss of their child, but no child should be harmed by an adult. And, we don't watch the news often. And most of the news that I get or hear either comes from you or Toya or social media. But it's one of them things where it's like, ugh, I don't want to be ignorant, but just hearing those stories is just so heart-wrenching.
It is. It's some sad shit. Somebody beat a fucking 2-year-old.
Yeah, horrible.
That's difficult.
Yeah, what was your wows?
My wows is just I made it to another week. Yeah, just God's blessed me. Being able to breathe, being able to walk, talk. Just thankful for another week.
Say hallelujah.
I don't feel like it.
Oh, okay.
That's like something you got to feel
Feel
within
your
inside.
spirit.
Yeah, you can't just say it because somebody tell you. It's like the preacher saying, say hallelujah.
You
like,
wouldn't
no.
just say it?
So yeah, that's my wow. It's just making it another week healthy, no bad news, no drama. That's a good thing. Excuse me. My woes have been, just get the grim shit out the way, the deaths of athletes. Tony Saraguza died.
Oh man.
55 years old.
Didn't know about that.
Darius Lee, college player, was shot in New York, 20 years old. Caleb Swanigan, 25 years old, used to play for Portland Trailblazers, just died.
Like no reason? Just well, no cause of death known yet.
Jalen Ferguson, 26 years old, linebacker, played for the Ravens. He died. It's like
this is all happened in a week.
This week.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like damn. And the two people, Caleb Swanigan was a player for 3 years, didn't pan out well, got real heavy, and had some issues, and he died. But them two deaths are unknown.
And Tony Saragusa, I know the name from doing like commercials and stuff like that. You say he was 55?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's young. That's young.
Hell
that's
yeah,
younger than my
young.
parents. Like that's
God
sad.
Damn. But just a lot of athletes
to those
died
families.
This week, and it's like, damn, like what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
2022 people, more people now I see are married and celebrating their husbands, celebrating their wives. It's a beautiful thing. We're in a different time. I come up in an era where people, didn't celebrate their wives and they had girlfriends on the side, and it wasn't cool to be locked down and have wifey.
You mean like in terms of entertainers and stuff?
Entertainers, people in the street, it wasn't necessarily a good thing to be like locked down. Like, it was guys outside, so you wanted to be outside with the girls.
Now, do you think they did it? Do you think it was a sense of like, I gotta protect my family, so I don't want people to know about them, or a sense of I might be creeping some?
Yeah, I think I might be creeping. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't that narrative yet of I'm gonna protect my family and this is what's supposed to be celebrated. Okay. Because in movies and shit like that, it wasn't. It's not like even in mob movies, which we consume a lot, it's always the guma on the side. So that's not a new thing. That's been since time immemorial. Right. But now it's a new day. We're in 2022. We hear more about open marriages and polygamy and poly this and poly that. Some of these words I can't even pronounce.
So can I just give some clarity?
Sure.
Under polygamy means having more than one spouse. And I think a lot of people use that word in general, but there's two types of polygamy.
We're not going to get there yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But in 2022, you hear more of the open marriage, open relationship, polygamy, try this, try that, but leaves the question, is monogamy a true thing? Is it achievable? Is it realistic? Definition of polygamy: the practice or custom of having more than one husband or wife at the same time. Definition of polyamorous: practice or desire of romantic relationships with more than one person, all parties consenting.
So it's not like cheating. It's just like, that's kind of like having an open relationship.
But it's all parties consenting. Like, people know we all mess with each other, but there's rules to it. You stay away from each other's partners. So it's not like a mix-up game.
Right, it's not an orgy.
It's nothing like that. So that's where the definition of those two words are: polygamy and polyamorous. Is monogamy achievable? Hold on, and a disclaimer too. I ain't sharing my wife with nobody. So we just having a conversation here for the sake of the show. We ain't no swingers. We don't do none of that shit. We don't believe in no polygamy. I ain't sharing her with nobody. So that's that. Disclaimer.
I second that. No dibs, no humps. Pun intended.
Yeah, we having a conversation.
Humps. Yeah. I absolutely think polygamy is achievable. I think
polygamy?
No, I'm sorry, monogamy.
That's on tape.
I'm sorry.
Cut that up. That's a clip.
Of course, polygamy is achievable, but we're talking about monogamy first. Of course, monogamy is 100% achievable. I think people who like to hang their hat on, and let me give this disclaimer. I know for some religious purposes, polygamy may be acceptable. So I'm excluding that from this conversation in some parts. But I will say, outside of for religious, beliefs, yes, people who say, oh well, it's not realistic, or humans weren't intended to just have one person. That's, to me, is just your lack of discipline. Because if you have one person that you love that is fulfilling you in all the ways that you need them to fulfill you, and not just sexually. Of course, people think about polygamy in terms of you stepping out of the relationship to have sex, but your spouse needs to be fulfilling you in all ways. Then there isn't a need for anybody else. So it's not a situation where it's we weren't intended to be that way. It's not realistic. It's not, human-like to do that. Yeah, it is. If you have the person that who gives you what you need.
What about pack mentality? Just to push back, like how humans were designed to be, and not just with one person, with packs. And
but you can't say a pack means that. No, I'm sorry. You can't say that a pack means it can be a pack meaning like we're a couple and there's a couple and there's a couple and there's a couple and we're all a pack.
What about the fact that that's how humans started out? The people would argue that for thousands of years, men and have had multiple wives, even in the tribes.
Well,
and our ancestry was like that. Not saying that. I mean, of course, I'm talking thousands of years ago, so I'm not applying that to today's time. Yeah. But I'm just saying, what's to say for that?
So, from what I've heard, and I have not done any. I haven't done any study or anything like this, but I've heard that we can't. One of the reasons why we can't always relate things to how it was back in the day is because this ain't back in the day. So when you talk about tribal men and stuff like that being killed, and the ratio of men to women, and the ratio of men to women is still, there's some disparity in those numbers now, but it was like you would have troops or tribes go off to fight, and out of 100 people, 2 may come back. So the thought was, in order to continue mankind, for lack of better words, or continue procreation in that tribe, then you couldn't have all of these women who lost their husbands not have a mate. So this one man, the thought was, it's making up for the fact that it's less men than it is women.
But I'm saying that if that's how it's supposed to be, it's funny that you say that, because that's why polygamy was started. That's what was my next question. Do you know why polygamy was started? And it was started to protect widows and orphans in wartime. That's when it was. And however that correlates, but that's what you kind of just said.
Well, I can't say that. I don't think it was started because again,
polygamy was started because of that. I'm not saying our ancestry stuff was. Polygamy, by definition, I mean, and I looked this up. Did some research. Was started to protect widows and orphans in wartime.
Well, what I'm saying is, like you said, it may be started in the American history books where they want to document that, but that's been done thousands of years ago.
Right.
So American history may want to say, "Oh, we started this to protect them during wartime," but that same ideology was what was used thousands of years ago when African tribes. I mean, no, because I think that it's different in the sense that, yes, again, the population. Still more women than men, but there's also other factors that go into play. I mean, yes, there's more women than men. You have some men who are in homosexual relationships, so that decreases the number of available men for women. But you can't. I don't want to say you can't, because you can do what you want. That shouldn't be a reason for a mate to substantiate why he feels he needs multiple. He or she needs multiple partners, but I'm just going to say he for now. But if that is something that you want to do, then you have to find a partner who is in agreement with that. And I think that's where, some people don't have that conversation, or some people, even a a woman may preliminarily agree to it. She might be smitten by this gentleman, and he may talk a good game, like some Dr. Umar good game to her, and have her believing that, the raindrops that come down
are for her.
Yes. Like God sent this rain down to glisten your soul today, my sister. So he may talk a good game and have her believe in whatever, but she has to truly innately believe and buy into that, because guess what? When your days is Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and on Sunday night your coochie twingling but it ain't your night, you gotta
so
be able to
sex.
Well, I mean, I'm using that as an example, but okay.
But that's a bad example because
your coochie
polygamy
could be
is not about sex.
Okay, I'm saying that because that is in fact a factor. Your coochie could be tingling. On Monday, you could just be in need of companionship. On Wednesday, you could be sad, had a rough day at work, and you need your partner. So all those factors. But again, if this is the life that you bought into, you have to be able to stand what you do, because there are going to be some times that your partner isn't available.
Out there who obviously you can't just go into polygamy by yourself. I mean, that's just cheating. So you got to have the conversation to say, this is the lifestyle that I'm into. Are you into it? And if that's agreed upon, like the definition says, all parties consenting, then if it's working, is it just the sense that you're a female and it's like, okay, I just don't like this shit. Like, no, I don't think a man, and it's okay to say that, I don't think a man should have 8 wives. Or is it something that you truly believe a lifestyle that doesn't work? Because two people should love each other, and there's always going to be some fucking friction in there if it's you got 3 wives and because you not here on Monday or this holiday or whatever.
So I can't say that it won't work, because for some people it may work. I will say some women may agree to it,
but not knowing what it fully is.
Right, and then you get in the mix of it, but it's like this is what you paid your token for. You put your token in the box and agreed to get on this bus, and the bus is rolling now, and it's like, hey, I want to get off, but the bus is rolling. It ain't no exit. But I'm not gonna say it doesn't work. I know this ain't a religious show, and we always say that. Biblically, I don't think that's what God intended for us to do. Like, for one thing, we're supposed to live by the laws of the land. The laws of the land dictate that you're not allowed to have more than one spouse.
Okay, that's spouse. That's polygamy. What about the polyamory
thing? I feel kind of iffy about, because I look at it
because
in this way.
You're not married and you're dating, to me, it's just a different word for sleeping around. Because if you're dating, the only caveat to it, again, the definition. All parties are consenting, so everybody knows that I'm messing with this girl and my girl's messing with that guy, and she could be messing with 2 guys and I could be messing with 3 girls, and everybody knows that we mess with each other, but the rules is to stay away from each other.
Or there are some polyamorous relationships where the gentleman may feel that that's the life that he wants to live, but he is not in agreement with the female doing the same. But
we just watch Mad Papa say this.
Wants her to be accepting, and some women may be, because of that same thought that it's not biologically. We shouldn't just be with one partner. Now, this is why I say I feel kind of torn about that. It's a difference if, let's say it's June, you meet somebody and you really like them. Like, y'all digging each other, y'all dating, and you really like them, but this ain't your boyfriend or your girlfriend yet. So are you just going to cut off all other options, not knowing where this is going to go? You might meet somebody else. So
if you're that type of person, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I don't think it is. But I'm saying I don't think it's something wrong if you don't cut off everybody else either. Some people may put all their eggs in one basket right away. What happens after,
I think that's how it should be, in just courtesy. This is just my opinion about it. It's a courtesy thing with the person, because you don't know where it's going to go. So I would give that person my attention for whatever it's going to be, days, weeks, months, or whatever. And I would kind of cut that off. And that's just how I move. Because you know how I feel about a woman if you dating, and we had this conversation before, and I don't mean to be vulgar, but it says something to me, and I know you didn't think so, but it says something to me if you're a woman or a guy and you're dating and you smash two people a month. or one person a month. To me, that's 12 dicks you had in a year, or that's 12 vaginas you had in a year. To me, both are wrong, or in some kind
So
of way.
why do we have to assume that dating automatically includes sex?
If it does.
Oh, okay.
If it does.
So
I'm not including, I'm saying if we're grown here. So
right,
grown people date, and if you want to have sex, you want to have sex. So I'm just putting that a part of it. I'm not saying that every woman or every guy that you run into, you're going to have sex with. What I am saying is if you want to, you will.
Exactly. So in my hypothetical scenario, sex wasn't involved. So I'm not saying if you meet this guy and
but you just said my coochie tingling on a Tuesday.
No, we were talking about being in a polygamous relationship. Okay. This next scenario, we're talking about polyamorous relationships. Because if I meet someone and I'm liking him, I'm digging him, we going on a couple dates here and there, but we just met. Like, I may be the person that feels like, okay, I just want to date him to see how I feel. But I think there needs to be a mutual understanding, because if not, let's say you dating this guy, y'all chilling, y'all having a great time. Y'all done been on like 3, 4, 5 dates throughout the month. And one night you go out with your girlfriends and you see him on a date with somebody else. Now to him, he might think like, well, yeah, we dating, but we not boyfriend and girlfriend yet. Exactly. Like, so I'm still dating other people.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean he's having sex with both. It doesn't mean that she's having sex with him. But in her mind, she could have been thinking like, well, damn, I was trying to see where this is trying to go.
And I'm sure her feelings would be more into it if they had sex that day.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying, now, if the conversation was had to say, you know what, we're going out, we dating, I'm digging you, I'm liking this or whatever. I am still dating other people as well, if you are. And after a while, now if it comes to a point where it's like, look, I'm really feeling you. Maybe now we're having sex. I don't want to share myself with anybody else, and I really don't want you to, I don't want to share you with anybody else. That's the appropriate conversation to have, I think, because then at that point, there's an understanding. If the man feels like, well, I ain't really ready to make that commitment to only be with you, then either
you're not the guy for me.
Either one, he's not the guy for you, or two, you accept the fact that you're not the only girl for him.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like in a polyamorous relationship, I don't think I would be completely against that, in the sense that you're new and you're just dating. Now, if it's like we've been together for 4 years, this my boyfriend, but this also my boyfriend, and I'm his girlfriend, but that's also his girlfriend, and this her boyfriend, then it's like, this is just a pile of mess.
But that's what a poly thing is. Yeah. It's like, okay, we just having fun, we just hanging out, and we happen to have sex with each other. So it is
not
what
with
it is.
I mean, it's all separate entities that are connected,
but it's still
just
each other.
I know that's right, but it's that I feel like it's just a cesspool of STDs waiting.
Right, because you can't trust people, and that's what I'm saying. Even with men, you can't trust people. You can't trust that this polyamorous relationship, everybody's strapping up. You can't trust that everybody. And as a woman, if you're having sex with 3 guys, don't you want to know who you're pregnant by? In case some shit happens. You can't just be like, I'm out here in a polyamorous relationship.
That a woman in a polyamorous relationship, I'm not going to be naive.
You would hope,
but listen, I'm not going to be naive and say I hope she's using condoms all around them, because that sounds good, but I know that's not realistic. But I would hope she's on birth control. Like,
you don't know. You would hope, but that's in a perfect world. There's a lot. We're humans.
That's
people
crazy
do crazy,
if you're
impulsive, heat of the moment shit, especially sex. That's like the number one heat of the moment impulsive.
But you need to be getting a shot in your butt every month to make sure no babies grow in you, when you banging more than one person.
We talked about dating and how that might work out. So you 17, you don't know me. It's 1997, and polyamorous is the thing. Natasha about to get out there and date. What you doing?
Why I'm 17?
Because you fucking 41 now and you married.
Oh, wait.
That's why. God damn it.
Okay, I was just confused.
So would it be something you would try? That's where I was going.
I just didn't get the core.
Because you don't let nobody finish.
I just didn't get the core. Well, in 1997, I actually was 16, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. You threw me with that.
You see how hard she make this? Like, why did she have to quote that she was 16? Like, why couldn't she just say I was 17? 80, 81, like, I just was trying to add 17 years on.
I just didn't know where you were going with that. So I'm getting out there to date, and polyamorous is the thing.
Yeah, like you just your first time getting in the world. You never dated anybody, and this is a thing. Being polyamorous, and because I'm a relationship guy. Like, I'm a one girl guy. So even that's why I moved that way. Even if I meet a girl and I'm single, I'm going to give her my attention to see where it goes. I'm not going to keep dating around just because we didn't label it exclusive. That's just how I am.
Yeah.
So would it be something that you would, because I wouldn't date Keisha, date Marie, date, Tanya, date Trinity, and be like, okay, this is just, I ain't exclusive with none of them.
Who is Trinity? That was like
Whoever.
A very specific name.
It's a stripper name I was just thinking about. Jesus Christ. Not a stripper. I'm saying a stripper's name.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. I guess it would again depend on, all right, I'm picturing it's 1997. I'm 17.
Yeah, why's that so bad?
Because I didn't know why you specifically said I was 17 instead of 18, or like I didn't know where.
Because 17, okay, 18. It could be 18.
Oh, I just 18. Didn't know what was.
It could be 18. Can you just answer? Would you try a polyamorous relationship at 18?
I don't think I would have had the. I don't even want to say.
Let's make it 19.
I don't want to say mental capacity. I don't think I would have had the emotional capacity to do that.
But you didn't have the emotional capacity to do the things that we did. Even if we were going into real strong single relationships, we didn't have the mental capacity for that. So what I'm saying is, if you don't know what you don't know. So if you never dated anybody, you've never been out there, and this is like, I had a middle school boyfriend, a high school boyfriend, but I'm kind of like on my own now, and this is a real...
No, I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is knowingly being like, okay, this is my boy. No, you're talking about like, this is my boyfriend, but he got a girlfriend. And then he got another girlfriend, and I might have another boyfriend.
No, I'm saying if you got into dating and the friends around you was polyamorous and was saying, okay, I'm gonna hook you up with my friend, and you like, nah, that's your boyfriend, and they like, nah, it's cool, like this is what we do.
Well, that's
would that be something that you would be into?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think I would have had the emotional capacity to do that. I said this, I think it was last week or the episode before that. Not to say like I was a fresh little girl, because I wasn't, but I, even like with little boyfriends and stuff, I was always very possessive. Like any little like arguments and stuff I would have with little friends, like when I was younger, was about my boyfriend, because my boyfriend was my boyfriend. So I'm not sharing my boyfriend. So I don't think that's something that I would have entertained. Mm-hmm. That's why I said, yeah, you don't know that you're emotionally prepared to be in a monogamous relationship, but that's the societal norm. So you figure out how to do it.
I was going to say, you're not mentally prepared for sex. You're not mentally prepared for you're not mentally prepared for oral sex.
But that's
it's a lot of things you're not mentally prepared for.
Right, but you anticipate doing those things because it's the norm, so you eventually at some point you figure you're going to cross those roads. But
so
I don't
you being
think
young and having it being entered, or your friends around you doing it, isn't it new? Isn't it something you wouldn't think is taboo? Because I know people that is doing this. Like, I went to high school, or I know friends that have been in open relationships.
I don't think so. I don't think it's... and again, you can never say what you would or wouldn't do. I don't think that's anything, knowing who I am today and even who I was then, I don't think that's anything that I would have slightly entertained. I just don't think there was anything I could have slightly entertained.
Because of your possessive nature.
Yeah, like the moment that I, like, okay, you with such as... again, like, what if you build a stronger connection with one guy than you do with another guy, and you want to be with the one who you have that connection with, but he's with somebody else, and you have to accept that because you entered into this situation with consent.
Right.
Like, I would not have been down for any of that.
Do you know any open marriage people?
I don't.
That's a good thing. That's like we never knew anybody worked at the DMV.
Right. Or, yeah. I don't know anybody. I was gonna say quite a few friends, but I have a few friends that are married, and then just knowing of other people that are married, I don't know of anybody who is in a polygamous relationship, whether it's just like what do you call it, like a modern day polygamous relationship, or for spiritual reasons. Like I know in some cases in Islamic families, that's a thing, but I don't even know any. Oh, I'm sorry, I do. I have a cousin who has two wives. Okay, I'm sorry. I have a cousin who has two wives.
He in Africa?
No, you met him before too.
All right, don't even say.
Yeah, we ain't gonna say nobody's name, but he has two wives. I met both of them. One of them, has come around my family quite often, and they've been around each other at the same time, but one not as much. But they have kids like separately, but they all are together. Like, yeah, and they just, yeah.
What's the benefits?
But it's weird though, because I do be like looking at them like, do y'all really like this? Are y'all really in agreement with this? Like, I know you don't really like.
Three people's not a cult. 3 people are 3 consenting adults.
Not a cult, but it just be like, I know you don't really. You wish she would go away.
What's the benefits? And I guess I'm speaking as if you're dating. I don't think there's any. Well, we could talk about that too, but just in polygamy, what's the benefits?
From what I've heard or like kind of loosely read, I haven't done any research. It's that familial structure.
Okay.
I have watched
That's
TV
what it
shows.
Starts with.
Yeah, I have watched TV shows where I think we watched a show together where it was couples who were looking for other wives, and it was this thought of like being a sister wife, like we can help.
Going too far, babe. What's the
That's what I'm talking about.
Benefits.
The benefits of like, we can both chip in on the housework. We both can watch the kids together. Or, maybe I got 2 kids and you got 2 kids, but I want to have a big family. I just don't want to have more kids. So now they, have all these siblings. So that kind of familial structure, helping each other, divide and conquer kind of mentality. Or if I got to go do this, you could watch all the kids today. So kind of having that in-house support, but not in a sense of like being a nanny or a housekeeper. I guess y'all being equally yoked.
Well, all that stuff still has to be split up. So you're gonna do some laundry. You're gonna cook.
Well, that's
some
why I said
food,
y'all are equally yoked.
Kids.
Like one is not the one that's always doing the housekeeping and the other one just doing the wifely stuff. It's a shared responsibility, but it's a shared responsibility. So I mean, now from the man's perspective, of course, some people can say, he gets to have 2 wives. I don't know.
Me personally, I don't think there's a benefit because one woman is enough. And I'm not saying that in a sense like y'all crazy, but it's a lot to deal with another human being.
Yeah.
And to deal with 2 and children, I just think is a lifestyle that I wouldn't be able to adapt to. I wouldn't be able to adapt to that kind of lifestyle. So I wouldn't want to have 3 wives, 9 children, and have to band with myself to everybody for the sake of the family and all this stuff. Like, it's just too overloading on one person.
The emotions, can you imagine that?
Because if it's about the family and we're trying to do it right and it ain't about the sex, then it's I mean, how many orgies can you have? I mean, and I don't even think it's an orgy thing. I think it's just individual sex with each one of them. So for me, it's like, okay, a lot of sex is a lot of sex, but when that happens, what's next? Like, eventually that burns out. Sister wives, the definition of sister wives this is only in a polygamous society. Mm-hmm. Any of the women married to the same man. So you don't have to be necessarily sisters. You're just labeled sisters because you're married to the same guy.
Yeah, that I know. Yeah.
Sister wives, you wouldn't have tried that either.
That's the same thing. Absolutely not.
Well, it's not the same. It's in a polygamous world.
Well, I mean, no.
So in the polygamous world, it's about the family. I don't know what it's about in the dating world. I just think it's about having sex with different people.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't see the benefit in that because you can just, like I said, you can date a guy, see where it goes, see if it's a relationship that I'm going to have sex in, and if it's not, then I'll move on. I think it's weird on both male and female to date 6 or 7 people, having sex with 3 or 4 of them, and that's just because I'm not exclusive with any of them. I just think that's not kosher, and that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And when I
male and female,
but when I say that I'm on the fence, I'm talking about for a short term, and excluding the sex part. I'm talking about for a short term, and not 6 or 7. That's a lot. But if you you currently got 2 or 3 guys on the roster who you chit chat with this one sometimes during the day. Maybe this one send you flowers. Maybe this one you go to lunch with, for a month or so until you figure out what, I really like this one and want to put my eggs in that basket. Then I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that, as long as there is communication and both parties know. He knows that because again, the same scenario applies. This guy could think like, oh, y'all chilling, y'all dating. He out with the homies one night, they want to go, get a drink at the bar or something. And here you are with this guy, but he doesn't know that the roster hasn't been solidified yet, where it's just him.
But it should be. That's the conversation I'm going to have. That's the communication I think a person should have.
How soon do you think that, you meet a girl on a Saturday?
Whatever you feel, whatever that individual feels. Some people meet somebody and really like being around them, and that's when you have them long conversations and talk and want to go out and hang out and have lunch and be together for the next week because y'all just like being around each other. So whatever feeling you have is what it is. I mean, I'm talking about grown people here. So whatever it is you want to do, but I think that's a conversation I think people should have, is my opinion, and I know I would have. It would be like, yo, I know we just meeting, but I'm going to give you my full attention. I would appreciate it if you can do me the same. And if you can't, then let me know now. Because I don't want to go out, because I'm not going to be out with the homies checking for girls if I'm trying to get your number. And I don't want to go nowhere to a game or something and see you in the next row with your man or some dude that took you to the game, because I'm not feeling that, and I'm being upfront with you about
what
that.
I'm saying though, okay, you meet a girl on Saturday. How soon are you having that relationship? Let's say y'all first conversation is Sunday and you feeling her. Are you letting her know then?
I'm letting her know I'm feeling her, but I'm not letting her I'm trying
to. You
got
to cut everybody off.
No, you got to see where it's going. It's not.
So that's what I'm saying. Is it after a week, then you let her know? Look,
yeah, it depends on what y'all have done. I'm not saying because you had a 6-hour conversation, you got to cut people off, but you got to see where it's going.
Okay.
You know that. It's nuance is what I'm saying. So it's not necessarily something I can explain in words. It's nuance. It's what you see in a
how you
relationship
feel in the
and
chick or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. So when I say the polyamory thing, I'm not talking about be in a 2-3 year relationship and this is still ongoing. I'm talking about I'm talking about being I hope the microphone picked that up.
Go ahead.
I'm talking about meeting a guy. You may already be, kind of talking to a guy here or there, and then making a decision within, 30 to 60 days
Jesus Christ, Steve Harvey. 90-day rule.
No,
30 to 60 days.
The 90-day rule is
I know, I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, maybe 60 days is a lot, but maybe within a month you could be like, you know what, I've been really talking to Johnny a lot. I really like him. I'm going to let Mikey fade to the side because I really want to give him my attention.
I don't believe in that. That's just my opinion. That's your opinion. I don't believe in it. It's a wonder how we're together. What's the double standard?
So I think the double standard comes into play because we always hear about the stories of when you talk about polygamy, and we hear it from the man's side, which the definition is really polygyny. Mm-hmm. So polygyny is when the man has more than one wife. We rarely hear about polyandry, mm-hmm. when a woman has more than one husband. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but that's rarely the conversation. And most men who would say, oh, I'm okay with polygamy, I'm okay with polygamy, I'm okay with polygamy, really what they're saying is I'm okay with polygyny, mm-hmm. and me having multiple spouses. But I don't know any men, and I don't know a whole lot of men, but I don't know any men that will be like, nah, I'm all right with her having, more than one husband. Let's just even say from a polyamory standpoint, where maybe not even married, and he's going to be her only one, and she's going to date multiple people, and he's going to be exclusive to her. So that's just in the dating world, let alone being married. Yeah, right. Men ain't accepting that.
No.
Men ain't accepting that.
Not the men cut from the cloth I'm cut from.
Yeah, men. So that's the double standard, and it's that whole conversation.
But who made that up, though?
Who made what up?
If it's supposed to be polyamorous, means you date different people, the woman and the guy. Mm-hmm. And the two words you just said? Polygyny. Polygyny is when the man dates multiple.
No. So polyamorous is not a married relationship.
Right, I know that.
Polygyny is when you are married and a man has multiple wives.
Okay. And
polyandry is when you're married and a woman has multiple husbands.
Okay. So, what, like, is it a thing that women have more than one husband?
I have seen.
That's not a common thing.
It's not common, but I have seen one or two couples on social media where, like, this was the thing, like a woman with two husbands. And I
that's a train. That's not a.
But they were in agreement with, and actually, so one situation I saw, the woman had two husbands. One of the husbands had another girlfriend. So it was like this picture of them like all chilling, like having date night, family night, game night. And again, like you said, it's no orgy type situation. Kim has Johnny, Kim has Jimmy. When Kim wants to be with Johnny, she's with Johnny, and Jimmy's in the other room, and vice versa. Now, sometimes Jimmy might invite Keisha over, if they just chilling and having a good time. But that, yeah.
So the only example of this that we've really seen from afar is Will and Jada. Is allegedly, is what people say.
Have we seen it?
No, is what I'm saying. Allegedly, this is what they say. What
an open relationship is?
An open relationship is where she can have August Alsina, and I guess he keeps his thing on the side as quiet as possible, if any.
Dwayne Martin.
Maybe so. Yeah. Maybe that's his taste. I don't know. But I'm just saying, allegedly. I mean, August Alsina, we kind of know. Yeah. But that's like, and we see how that family functions. So how is that like, we see the kids produced out of that. And I'm not shitting on people, but they don't seem like normal people.
Well, I know the son was like, didn't want his penis anymore. So
I'm not saying who says what normal is, but by my standard, I'm just.
Yeah. I mean, I think. But so
I don't know any open marriage, any open marriage.
So let me ask this.
I know cheaters.
Is it considered an open marriage if you have threesomes?
I think the marriage is open. If I can use that term, I'm gonna use the same term but in a different way.
So it's not an open marriage, but the marriage is open. Oh, yes. I feel you. I figure you on that. When I see you,
you straight because you're cool.
I'm cool because I'm straight. Yeah.
All right. That's what I meant. You didn't have a conversation that you go your way and I go my way, and we meet up. When we want each other, we had the conversation of, do we want to bring somebody in?
So we don't have an open marriage, but our marriage is open.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's different.
Yeah, that is different. I don't like it.
No, I don't like it either.
To each his own, but I just feel
I'm a Leo. I'm just as possessive, probably 1,000 times more than you are.
I'm gonna say this because again, we speak our truths, and we're transparent with y'all. We've been together 20 years, right? So early in when you're younger, you think about like the things that you hear, like you were saying, like, what if your friends were doing this and but you think about the things that you hear, and like I've asked him, like when I say early, I'm talking about like 20, 21 years old, and don't get me wrong, I have never had any desire to have a threesome, but I wanted to know if he had the desire, like, and I don't go, I guess in some way of just wanting to make sure that he was fulfilled, or like, you know, his desires were being met. Now, he has
And
always said no from the beginning to.
And let me just stop you. At the time, you asking the question, that statement you just said makes sense, because it's like coming from a perspective of, I'm asking you this not to see if you want, well, to see if you want to do it, not that I'm willing, but to see if if you're fulfilled.
Right.
Because I think that question should be asked to every relationship, every man.
Right. And
like,
it
if you
wasn't
with
even,
your man, you should ask him what his fantasies is. Like, did you ever want to do threesomes? Did you do them before? Like, because it can just pop up.
And not in a not like am I fulfilling you, but this could be something that you want to do that leaves a void. And I will say, if he had said yes, I don't know what I would have did. I'm not gonna lie to y'all and say that it wouldn't have happened, but I don't know. I just can't even imagine what the process would have been for that to happen. I have no.
There was absolutely no way, even in our first 6 months, year, however you thought I cared about you or didn't love you, or however you just thought, like, it's not moving fast enough, like whatever you thought about me, there's no fucking way I would have shared you. No way. Like, there's no fucking way I would have asked you, hey, do you want to have a threesome? There's no fucking way. So
you would consider that sharing me, even if there's if it's another one? Well, I guess because the other woman is partaking of me.
Yes.
Too. Yeah.
Like, I wanted you. I didn't want anybody else. And like I said, I was giving you my attention. It wasn't even a thought in my mind. Like, even when we were trying to be freaky, like for the first time and learning each other, it wasn't like, man, we need another bitch in here. Like, no.
I mean, don't get me wrong, we didn't come in the door and me asking you that, but probably after, like, you know, maybe a year. And again, I'm so grateful that your response from the beginning through forever has always been no. But I think for myself, again, just being young, new in a relationship, thinking, is this what men want? I want to make sure my man is satisfied. But again, if you had said yes, I don't even know how that would have transpired or how I would feel today sitting here knowing that, like, that was something we're engaged in. I'm so happy. We have never, ever welcomed anyone. We barely welcome people into our house, let alone into our bed.
That's crazy. And it's not something as a man that I ever was just like wild about. Like, in my previous life, that happened to me one time, being transparent. And I hated it. Not like,
really?
Yeah, it wasn't something, I felt bad. Like,
so wait, I don't want to like put you out there like that. I'm going to ask this in the most respectful way. Was this a threesome with you and two girls, or was this the time you and your friends ran a train?
Yeah, it was the train.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a situation where it was like you and two girls.
No, this was a situation. It was me and three other dudes and one girl. She was
a willing participant.
Yes, and I'm talking about year, like almost 30 years ago. But this is like not fun. It's just not fun. It wasn't something that I felt good about afterwards. It wasn't like, yeah, I had this conquering feeling or something that I wanted to do that I accomplished. It was almost like, why the fuck did I do that? Like, it didn't feel good at all. And that's real talk. It didn't feel good at all. And in my previous life, I wasn't ashamed to the women. I was outside, but I didn't like that. I just didn't like it. Yeah. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah, it's just,
I felt bad. Like, this ain't cool. This is not something that I'm going to be doing again. This ain't something that is fun. Like, okay, like, it's like almost like riding a roller coaster, and you get on it and be like, I shouldn't have fucking did that.
Now, you asked if I knew any people that had a polygamous relationship, and like except for one, my one cousin. I do, and not anybody personal, like my friends. I mean, maybe some of y'all have, and y'all just ain't told me yet. Y'all could tell me. I keep good secrets. But I do know of people that have like participated. You know, like know of through like, hey, you know, such and such, you know, that kind of thing. Like I know of somebody. And it's one of them things where you think to yourself, or I think to myself.
And you hear that shit fourth person because it's still taboo.
Yeah, but it's one of them things where you think like, to me, And women, this is no shade to anybody, because again, it may be somebody that I know and love who is so confident. So I need you to school me if that's the situation. Like, feel free to have this conversation and be transparent. But in the scenarios that I know of, I look at it as a low self-esteem type situation, because it's almost like you don't feel like you're enough to tell that man that, nah, we ain't bringing nobody else in here. Like, if I'm not enough for you, and that's what I don't know if that would, and again, this is no shade or judgment to people, because when I was 19, 20, if he had said, yeah, that was something he wanted, I don't know what I would have done. But today, sitting here, I hope it would have been like, if I ain't enough for you, then we can go our separate ways, but I'm not bringing somebody else in here to fulfill you. Like, we can do all the freaky things that you want to do, all of them, but not with another person. So that's what I automatically think when I hear about, women doing that. It's like, sis, like, let him know you enough. Like, let him know you can bust it open too. You can let him help you do a headstand or whatever it is that he needs to go to that next level to check off that box that is empty for him. But don't let another woman come in, because I feel like once you start that,
it's you
I don't think you would stop.
You raise the bar, so it's difficult to go back. Because if you go to
what happened if she do it better than you?
If you go to 3 people and you enjoy it and y'all enjoy it, or one person enjoy it too much, it's when the emotions get into it, she don't want it no more, he don't want it no more, and now you sneaking behind each other back. It's almost like you raising the bar to what your satisfaction is. So anything under that, you're not satisfied, because this is what it takes to get you off now. This is what you like. This is what you adapted to. So I need 2 women in here or 2 men in here to get where I need to get to. Otherwise, like, what am I doing?
Now, here's another double standard. Why is it that men who want to have threesomes, like their woman and another woman, that man wouldn't be able to see, hopefully, his woman in another sexual situation with another man, but it's okay to see her in another sexual situation with another woman? Like, that's still cheating. I mean, it's not cheating because she's not doing it behind your back, but she's still engaging in a sexual encounter with another person.
But you know how society and men feel about oral sex. It's almost like, you ain't cheating if you eating. Or you didn't cheat if she gave you head. Like, that's
what if like she put a strap on?
That's different, because I was about to say, my point is there's a fine line between that and penetration. So to see another man dogging your wife out or your girl out, it's not a visual men are wired to see.
Or what if she's giving a man oral?
It's still not a visual that men are wired to see. It's almost like just like porn. Like, men will say, "Oh, I can watch girl on girl," but
they watch gay porn.
Because it's still gay porn, whether it's girl on girl or guy on guy. Right. It's still all gay porn.
Right.
So the fact that you have adapted your mind to think this is okay in society because it's 2 women. Oh, this is sexy. They licking on each other. Okay, 2 guys are licking on each other, but you've been taught to think that's nasty.
Right. So, okay, you said it's so taboo and people don't talk about it, but there are people in the entertainment industry who we know, Tiana Taylor and Iman Shumpert, she had a whole song about it. Like, that was a part of their life. They talked about T.I. and Tiny, Candy and her husband. So that's just 3 people, 3 couples. Which, I mean, not to say like they set any kind of standard, but there are some people who are open about it. Why do you think? I don't understand.
Because it like I said, you raise the bar. Look at T.I. and Tiny. You go to the point where it's like you trafficking fucking women, you locking women up and
allegedly.
Allegedly. But I'm just saying, that's the kind of shit that grows when you into that kind of lifestyle, because you gotta up the ante. You gotta up. You've been doing threesomes for 5 years. Okay, what we doing now? Now we doing threesomes and drugs. Now we doing threesomes and drugs and this. Now we doing threesomes and drugs, and we holding them hostage for the weekend. We gonna turn them out. Like, it starts to get to a point where you need more.
Yeah,
That's
I want
that's
no
bad.
parts of that
Yeah, I
life.
want zero
Baby,
parts
you
of
are
it too.
enough for me.
You're enough for me too, babe.
Yes.
What have you learned?
What have I learned? I have learned, and I'm going to go back to what I said during.
Keep it tight.
How I was feeling. I have relearned that there is strength in accepting duality in your life, and I'll leave that there.
My baby is. I'm just happy for you, regardless if you learn it from me, or if I said it to you before, or I'm just glad you got it.
I don't know if you said that one to me before though.
Said what to you before?
Just about the you more so you.
Do you know what an analogy? Do you know what you're saying when you basically saying you can have duality, where you saying you can grieve this situation, but you can still find your peace?
Yeah.
So basically, when I hear that, that's saying that your happiness is a choice.
Right, but you more so focus on.
Can I finish?
Go ahead. Yeah.
You saying that I'm saying that your happiness is a choice, and that you can wake up every morning and choose to be happy about something. And just because you choose to be happy doesn't mean you don't feel your feelings when they come about or when you need to go through stuff. But there's duality in what you choose to do and what you choose to let inside, no matter what you're going through. And it's like, that's just a different version of you saying you can have duality in your life. I can grieve this situation even if it's with a friend or a family member, but I can still find my peace throughout the day. It's the same thing. And I'm not saying like I told you so. I'm saying right, because
when what I receive from you when you say that, and maybe this isn't your attention, but I'm just letting you know how it's received. It feels like you
sound like you about to punch me.
No, I'm not about to punch you.
Doing a whole lot.
No, it feels like you are more so saying, choose to be happy, choose to be happy, choose to be happy. Don't be sad. That's how it's received when you say that, like how the way that you give that message, where it's like, okay, I can't help but be sad. Yes, I want to be happy and I'm going to choose to be happy, but this sadness is still here and I can't help it. And sometimes when you give your message, it doesn't feel like you are emphasizing the duality of it. It feels like you are saying, choose happy in spite of that.
Right, even though I'm following up and saying, feel your feelings. It doesn't mean you have to fucking, just because you choose happy, it doesn't mean you have to not feel what you're going through. If that arises in your day, you feel it, you work through it, you move on. Hopefully you have some coping skills to pull from that when that feeling comes. But ultimately, when you woke up that morning, it was like, okay, I'm gonna do my best to be happy today. That's all I'm saying.
I get what you're saying now.
Not block out any other feelings that
wasn't how I received that message.
That's the way I said it though, because I've always said
you have said the same thing. I'm letting you know it was never received that way.
Okay.
I'm not saying you changed the way you said it. It was never received that way.
I'm glad you're receiving it. Okay.
So that's what
you. I got questions.
Oh, you okay?
For what you have learned. So kid lives with mom 6 months. Kids lives with dad 6 months. They equally pay for school. They equally pay for food because the kid is split 6 months and 6 months. So equally, they're doing a great co-parenting a job with the kid and splitting everything. There's no gripe on either side. Half is what the standard is. Half is what they do. Who claims the kid on taxes?
As far as taxes, I would think so you have the factual answer from a legality standpoint?
I'm asking your opinion and I have the factual answer.
Right, okay. So I would think, and I don't know that this is factual, that whichever address is the kid's legal address would be who would claim the kid. So in essence, like, if you go to school at this...
But if you have 50-50 custody, the kid kind of has two legal addresses. Because he stays 6 months with this parent, 6 months with that parent.
Thinking about our court system, is it the mom just because she birthed it? But I don't know.
It's up to the parents when it's 50-50 like that.
Okay,
It's
that
a
makes
decision
sense.
on what the parents would want to do.
That makes sense, and that's fair. And it sounds like in that kind of situation, they should be able to come to a mutual decision since they're already co-parenting cohesively anyway.
Should women pay men for child support if the man has full custody?
Yes, I do believe so, because yeah, I do believe so. If a man, whichever parent is
Why would
not
so many women have a problem with that?
double standards.
And that's just one of them. Like, we all see it. It's all open. And
But
we know, like, women would be like, fuck no, I ain't getting no
I mean,
child support.
in the perfect world, nobody should have to pay child support,
Right.
because if the child is living with one parent, if the child is living with one parent, the other non-residential parent should understand this child needs to be taken care of. A court shouldn't have to determine that for you. But in the case that they do, absolutely, I think a woman should.
Okay, because I saw a video of a woman on TikTok, and she said that she got divorced, she got remarried, and her ex-husband got remarried, and he got a new job, and the court sent her papers saying come back for an increase. His initial payment was $69 a week for his child. That was 4 years old. And she was like, that's sufficient. It's $70 a week. I get what a 4-year-old needs for $70 a week. And the court was like, well, he make more now. And she said she had to convince the court, like tell the court, I don't want more money. Like, I have a new husband. I'm fine. I make money. I don't need him to pay my bills. Anything extra would be like an insult on him. He just got married. He's living his life. He's got a family to take care of. The $69 is enough. I don't want more. And the court's like, he makes more. Like, we want to give you more. And she had to like walk out of court saying, no, like, I don't want more from him. It's enough. But it's like, it's not a lot of people out there that would do something like that.
No, it's not. I can say from a personal standpoint, I know someone who paid $25 every 2 weeks for child support for years, and then was taken off where they didn't have to pay anything because of financial situations, and there was some understanding of that. But I guess to each his own.
Go ahead. You got the question you put up.
Yeah, so there were some questions.
She got her shit right this week, y'all. She got blasted last week.
There were some questions. So we asked about episode 74, if y'all watched. And this was about privacy. So do you believe in privacy for children? No. People responded no, they don't believe.
100%?
Yes.
Damn.
So that was the response for that. What age should kids have cell phones? 13 to 14 was the consensus for that. So about 13 to 14 years old, which I agree with. I mean, I know there are some kids that are younger that have phones for other purposes, but I think 13 to 14 is appropriate as well. This was, what's your favorite graduation memory? So one was, my daughter graduated from Girls High. Ooh, ooh. Beautiful ceremony, great traditions. I told y'all my Girls High graduation story. Yes, it was very beautiful. They had a long-standing tradition of graduating from the Academy of Music with red carnations and white dresses. For us, womp, 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 the Leah Chorus Center. But since then, it's now at the Kimmel Center. So beautiful.
Had a graduation.
Another person said, I loved my high school graduation dress. Oh, that was nice. The next was, did you have teachers that cared? So there were how many? 100% people said no. No, nobody had teachers. And it's a shame because it made me think.
So that makes me think I'm not crazy because I wasn't missing out on it. Like, it wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
Right. And it's so a couple different factors, I think.
Because I was wanting care from somebody. So I know I would have noticed it.
And that's what I was about to say. I think there's a couple factors that go into it. One, the environment. We talked about that. Teachers working in these charter schools that have different structure, that have more administrative support.
Yeah.
They can care. They have the supplies that they need, rather than you have teachers working in schools where they got to make it home safe, or they got to be on, or guard to see if they're going to have to fight. So I think it was, and I wonder too.
A lot of teachers were saying that when I was in school. This motherfucker, not me, but this motherfucker better not hit me in this class.
Yeah, I think also you have to think, could the teachers feel your vibe? Like I told you, I think I would have been receptive if a teacher really showed me that they cared about me, but it had to be in a certain way that I didn't feel like they were being a creep also. So that's kind of weird.
That's a fine line with you.
Yeah, so they may have...
I don't think it would have happened.
They may feed off of energy. Right, so probably because I wasn't like giving that energy that I was open to that, maybe that's why they didn't show me that. So, yeah.
3 grams. Vince Carter house got broken into. Wife and kids hid in a closet, and $100,000 cash was stolen out the house. $16,000 found in his backyard.
With 2 guns.
Dropped. And a dog, I heard.
Oh, I didn't hear about the dog. The crazy thing is this, right?
Where the gun at? You got money like that in your house. Where's your fucking gun?
Okay, so what I read is 2 guns found in the yard. They think 1 gun was from the house and 1 gun was the robber. So he dropped them as he was running, I guess. But he stole 1 gun from the house and dropped it. The other one was his own. The wife, my assumption is that the gun, because if she was upstairs and a robber had the gun and dropped it, the gun must have been downstairs, because it didn't say that the robbers ever came upstairs.
Right.
And it's crazy. It makes me think, where did they have... It makes me think, was it somebody that they knew? Because where did you have $100,000 that somebody knew to come in and get and then leave?
Right.
They didn't rummage through your house. They didn't beat your wife up and make her tell. Like, how did they know where to get this? Did you just have it laid out on a coffee table? How did they know?
You might have said something to somebody, and somebody said something to somebody else. Like, he got $100,000 in there now.
Yeah, it had to be. I would think it was an inside job. Like, inside meaning somebody that you know, or somebody that you know that knows somebody that was talking out of their mouth and shouldn't have been.
Vince Carter just seemed like an okay dude. I mean, I don't know that motherfucker, but he just seemed okay. Like, that's some terrible shit that be happening with your
I'm happy that his wife and kids are safe, though.
Yeah, like hiding in the closet and shit. You got kids in there. They probably scared to death.
Well, yeah, it said that the kids heard the noise downstairs and they ran to their mom and they all was in the closet. That made me think we're going back to the range.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy, because the Supreme Court signed a law for the right for people to bear arms in public, open carry everywhere, especially in New York. A 6-3 vote saying that New York gun laws is too strict and that people should be able to open carry. This from the Supreme Court.
I didn't know it was everywhere. I did read that in New York, like, the way the law read is that you had to prove that you had a reason to have a license to carry, and I read from some New Yorkers, like a couple fashion people that I follow, but they were posting and saying, like, this is horrible. They are not in agreement. They said the violence, just like Philadelphia.
I meant everywhere in New York.
Okay, yeah, just like, in Philadelphia and other places, they are not proponents of this. They're saying that they think it will be detrimental to their city and state.
But what do you say about the cities that's fucking going crazy and you get shot up going places and get robbed? Like, why can't people have protection? Do you think regular citizens who want to go out with their wives and have a dinner and because it's nice outside, have a dinner on the curb from a restaurant, but they scared that somebody could walk up and rob them real fast and run off? Like, why can't you have protection for those people that's going out to have dinner? Ain't gonna shoot nobody, ain't gonna rob nobody, ain't gonna kill nobody for nothing. But they should be protected. If I'm sitting there, my back is turned, and we eating dinner, and some guy jumps out of the car with a big ass gun, robs me, and jumps in the car and takes off. How the fuck can you stop that?
It makes me think about the South Street shooting that happened a few weeks ago, where one of the guys that got killed because he shot at a guy, and the guy shot back and killed them, they both had legal guns. And it just makes you think, it's enough illegal guns on the street, and then when you kind of open the, what I would like to know is, for the everyday common citizen, not a criminal, who is applying to get a license to carry, what's the percentage of people being declined?
I don't know, but I will say another fact under what we learn is there's 7 billion people in the world. I think there's 300 or 400 million people in the United States of America. There's 121 guns per one person for the United States of America.
That's disgusting.
So it's 400 million people in the United States, and it's 121 guns for every one person. That's how many guns there are.
That's disgusting.
That's sad. Last gram. Amazon make Alexa mimic dead relatives' voices using AI, saying that their memories will last, but they can't erase the pain.
Nope. I'm not interested. I don't want Alexa's.
How is that even like something that gets past marketing? Like, we're talking about dead relatives. There's a certain percentage of people out there that may want a teddy bear that talks like their dad, or a picture that they can push that talks like their mom, but that's a very small percentage, and God bless those people. Most people, I think, would not want Alexa to sound like their dead grandmother.
I don't want my grandmom to be
right.
telling me what the weather is outside when I ask Alexa
what
the weather is.
Hell no. And what, you gonna name it your grandmother?
That's just not something I would be interested in ever. The most sad but beautiful thing I ever seen somebody do with a dead relative's voice. You know how you can get, if you have, like my aunt that passed away, I still have voicemail saved from her. And I never want to delete them. I hope my phone never deletes them. But you know how a message has voice waves? Well, you can print some. I saw somebody got that printed and got it tattooed on the voice waves. And there are certain apps, like how you scan a QR code. If you scan that voice wave, it will play. So I think it was like their dad or maybe a mom or something, but somebody had got a voice message saying, "I love you," in their parents or that person's voice. Now, again, you have to have the app to hold it up to yourself to play it and hear it. I just thought that was so sadly beautiful. But then, again, that's by choice. Like, it ain't like you just gonna walk past the mirror and it's gonna play. But yeah, that whole Alexa thing, I'm good on that. Alexa doesn't even say, it's not like Alexa answers questions. It's a responsive voice technology. So it's not like they're going to just automatically, I don't know if you can program it to say like, "Good morning, beautiful," and like have your mom or your dead spouse or your child, God forbid. I don't know.
Yeah, you can have Alexa do a lot of shit that we don't know. I know some people that use Alexa a lot every day.
We unplugged ours.
You can do a lot of shit. You can just ask Alexa, where's my package? And it'll tell you where.
Like, do the tracking and stuff.
Yeah, like where your package is. Like, you can ask Alexa to do if you hook the shit up. Now you gotta hook this shit up, but you can hook it to anything.
I did read a story years ago where Alexa got a man off of saved him from being convicted of a murder. He was arguing with his with his wife. I'm sorry. He was arguing with his wife. Blah 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 blah. They were arguing and she ended up dying. I really don't know how, but nevertheless, they thought that he killed her. But because Alexa, y'all think even when y'all don't have Alexa turned on, it don't hear you, but it was recording. They were able to use the recording from Alexa to prove that he didn't kill her.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Act 2 the Podcast, episode 76 in the books. Again, you can catch us act2thepodcast.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, TikTok, Breaker, and Spotify. And Twitter, too. Didn't miss that on, Twitter, too. We out there tweeting. Act 2 the Podcast, episode 76.
So thank that
it's a wrap. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.
You messed it up again.
I'm sorry.